So two take-home messages that I liked a lot. I like the show Don't Tell. I'm going to use that at the bar later. Show. And two, we have people from Seattle and California, and we have someone who came all the way from Jersey, so let's give it up for Jersey. I love Jersey. I've been there once. Next up, we have a close personal friend of mine, Lorial Crowder, who will be reading Soul Stretching, the story of an adopted Filipina. Lorial Crowder earned a master's degree in social work at Hunter College, specializing in community organizing and planning. She was born in Olongapo City, Philippines, where she spent her early age in an orphanage. At the age of 5, she was adopted by an American family from Connecticut. With the support of her loving American family, she discovered a deep desire to learn every aspect of her Filipino heritage by embracing her adoption experience. In 2005, she co-founded the Filipino Adoptees Network, FAN. Lori is currently Vice President of the Metropolitan New York chapter of the Filipino American National Historical Society. Here to share her unique life story is the mother of Noah, who's over here. Hey, Noah. The mother of Noah. Please welcome our Manhattan resident, Lorial Crowder.
This is tight enough so it doesn't pull it off. Okay. Curious people always ask me where I'm from or what my ethnic background is. As each year passes, it seems less significant that I was born in the Philippines and was adopted at the age of 5 by my white American family. That distant part of my past is what connects me to a place that was once my home for a short time. I've been fortunate to return to the Philippines on numerous occasions, each for very different reasons. Every journey back to the motherland has provided me with more insight about the international adoption process. It also allowed me to gain an appreciation for being Filipina, as well as my own evolution in overcoming life's trials and tribulations. In 1998, I decided to visit the Philippines on my own for the first time since my adoption. On that trip, I met a group from a Colorado adoption agency that had organized a motherland tour for young adopted Filipinos to visit their birth country. I joined them for a week as we traveled to various orphanages where the adoptees once lived, and I was given a first-hand look at what the conditions were like. This experience offered me a glimpse of life I might have led had I not been adopted. When I returned to the United States, I wanted to remain connected to the Filipino-American community. During those few weeks in the motherland, my foundation of a privileged life was rocked by the images of poverty that thousands of Filipinos are born into and can never be freed from. In contrast, I felt blessed beyond words. My 20s were the most challenging years for me. I began to question the link between my biological family and the people who raised and loved me unconditionally. Did my American parents love me the same way they loved their biological children? Did my brothers really view me as their sister, or would I always be the adopted sister? Meanwhile, I questioned whether I deserved this life of privilege. How could I live such a comfortable life? Why was I the lucky one to grow up with such opportunities? Why wasn't I one of those girls who grew up in the orphanage? Each visit to the motherland triggered emotions I was not prepared to face, nor did I feel that I had the outlet to express them in a healthy way. I felt like my family could never fully understand me, and neither could my friends. It was not until 5 years later, in 2003, that I made the decision to return to the Philippines. By then, I was in a different place emotionally and psychologically. I wanted to seek more answers about my past and gain more understanding about the country that was once my home to me. It was at this time I realized that I harbored no resentment towards my biological mother. If anything, I hold the deepest gratitude for the choices she made. If she hadn't if she hadn't relinquished me, I would never have been connected to the family that I was destined to have, nor would I have come in contact with the friends and opportunities that have made me the person I am. This was also the trip when I visited the Kingsville Am Orphanage, where I lived for the first 5 years of my life. I met the director, who seemed to remember me. It was not until I found a photograph of myself on the bulletin board that I felt a sense of relief. It was as though my time in the orphanage was no longer merely a story I told people. Rather, it was a truth. This is the place I once called home. This is where my journey began. Even after 22 years, this photograph survived as if it was waiting for me to return. It represented the fact that I survived. I also learned that after believing it was my biological mother who named me, that in fact it was the director of the orphanage that named me after her niece. In the summer of 2004, I traveled with 7 Filipinas and a Mexican gal on an intense immersion trip of various aspects of Filipino life, one of which Annalisa is here. Yes. We met with different sectors I had not met before, including youth organizers, the urban poor, and peasant community. It was a shock to witness such poverty, and unlike my visit in 1998, I was no longer a tourist, but a participant. We spent a week with a host family in the mountains where there were no running water or electricity. This is a reality that I read about before, but it was humbling to experience it firsthand. It was among these women that I felt the most scrutinized, but also challenged to look within myself and embrace my personal history. For the first time in my life, I was able to reconcile my two worlds, the world of my family and my being American, along with my questioning world of what-ifs and probing the unknown past. Now that I am in my early 20s, now 30s, I realize that my adoption was a destiny that I was given. It has become part of the identity I have learned to embrace just as much as I've learned to be proud of the Filipino American, of being Filipino American.